guys, this is Wenzes. Welcome back to my channel where we talk about personal development for INFJs and how to create an epic life on your terms. Today we're talking about the naturally high INFJ. So naturally high in a way of you go through life and everything feels like you're on cloud nine. You're in your state, you enjoy everything going on around you, and you're sort of detached. This is a typical INFJ thing that we can just lean back, observe what's going on, and that in itself already makes us ecstatic. We're full of endorphins. We love it. That's the thing that so many INFJs have in common. This is a vision of how I'm going to feel if everything would be great. The problem with this is that we always connect this to a person, a circumstance, or any kind of external thing happening that would allow us to just lean back and enjoy life. If we would meet just this one social group, this friendship group, right? Or if we would have that one person or that one job or that one opportunity, then we could get to live like this. And if that worked, I'd be all for it. It would be totally fine if you could say, okay, I meet this one person, I could just lean back, enjoy life, everything's great. Or this one circumstance happens in my life, I get to lean back or enjoy it. Same thing with the friendship group. But it's not going to happen because the state that you're looking for cannot be created by anybody but you. And most INFJs know this. So what is the key here? The key is that we have to start with where we're at. We have to start loving where we're at right now and make that the naturally high starting point. We're going to talk about this in detail so you can take it step by step and create this in your life. Remember, if you want my personal help with this, then work with me privately or join the INFJ Epic Life Bootcamp. The next one is starting in May. We have a waiting list and a payment plan this time. So check it out, sign up, you find all the information below. We as INFJs are not only cerebral beings, we are NFs. And since we're NFs, we love to have an emotional atmosphere. It's the thing that we all have in common. If you listen to music, you'll see that most INFJs are drawn to music that makes you feel light, that makes you feel like you're on cloud nine, and sort of like you're naturally high. The reason for this is the combination of NI and FE. NI is a very light state. It's completely different than SE. If you've been around a lot of sensors and seen the music they're attracted to, specifically if it's an external sensing person, right? So somebody like an ESTP, for example, or an ISFP, there's a lot more action behind it. There's a lot more strength and force in that music. The INFJ natural state is very much meditative. It allows you to slow down. It allows you to observe. It's like you're going through life in this state where everything is just flowing. That's why we talk about being in the flow so many times. And you've heard me say that, yes, of course you need to take action. You actually have to tap more into your inner ESTP to change your life. But still, we love to be in that naturally high state. And for the longest time, I thought, okay, I have to decide. Either I'm going to stay in that state and I'm going to enjoy it, or I'm going to start getting into action and create a real world for myself. But the problem with this is, if you're not taking action, you're not gonna have this amazing quality of life of living in a naturally high state, because there's always something that shows you, you cannot stay there. You have to take action now, because your hopes were that one person would save you. Did that happen? No. That one job that you're just waiting on, did that save you? No. So you have this image of, oh, I could live in this naturally high state, and maybe you have even bits and pieces of this if you daydream about something, but it's not something that you can keep on forever. And so I decided to myself, okay, I still want to have that state. The only thing that really matters is how I experience life. There is no such thing that's a happy life or that's a successful life or whatever it is. It's about how you experience it. We both know situations where people are experiencing the same thing, and the one is really ecstatic, is super happy about it, and the other one is totally depressed. Why haven't they achieved more? Why isn't this going the way they want? The list goes on and on. So we as INFJs, we're really interested in how something makes us feel. We know that. So how do we get to a state where we allow ourselves to be in this naturally high state as much as possible without having to always wait for something, without us having to constantly reevaluate what's going on and realize that it was just a dream and that this is not something we can hold on to, because there is a discrepancy between what we think and what we dreamed about and what reality really looks like. This is what cognitive dissonance is all about, that you cannot make it one, that you can't keep on dreaming something in your mind and reality is showing you something completely. So you thinking, oh, I'm with a person who's always kind to me, who's always generous, and they have a good heart, and the reality is this person is consistently rejecting you, continues to treat you badly. At some point you have a clash, at some point you have a reality break, and then you actually have to change your state of mind. You have to go into this dark place, you have to start fighting, and that's everything but being in your naturally high state. So we want to find a balance. We want to be at a place where we make progress in life, where we take control so we're not at the mercy of any person or any circumstance, and we want to be in that naturally high state. So how do we do that? The thing that is key here is that we have to look at our life right now, not what we imagine it to be, not what we think it could turn out to. We're not looking into potential. We're not looking into potential of our life, and we're also not looking into potential of a job, of a person, any of that. I want you for a moment to think about your current state right now. What job do you currently have? What kind of income do you currently have? Do you have a relationship? And if you do have a relationship, how is it? I'm not talking about having a dream person and somebody that you admire. I'm saying about what you actually have at this particular moment. What do you think about the way you live? What do you think about the way you spend your leisure time? All of this, I want you to think about it, how it is right now. And you can actually write this down. So why are we doing this? Aren't we INFJs wanting to be in that mental state where everything is great? The reason why we're in that state so often is because our life is not as amazing yet as we would want it to be. And on top of that, we have learned we actually have to hold on to what we believe. We have to disassociate ourselves with what's going on right now so we can create more of what we want. But here's the missing ingredient, and that is particularly important for INFJs because we're going to be in that state anyways. We're going to dissociate from reality so often. So we have to actively put one more step into place. And that step is the following. Once you recognize your current state of life, you have to imagine it never getting any better. So this is the best job you're ever going to have. This is the amount of money you're always going to have. You're not going to have a better relationship than you have now. So if you don't have one, you're going to be by yourself all the time. That is the status quo. And we as INFJs have to do this because unless we imagine that this is how our future is going to look like, we cannot make this a reality. Remember, we tend to live in the future. In the future, as in we as INFJs continuously think at what is going to be. So if you want to have reality as a starting point, we have to imagine what currently is as our future. So there's some kind of connection between the emotional state and what is currently going on. There's no other way to make that happen. And once you do that, two things happen. Number one, grief. You recognize, oh man, so this is actually how my life is going to be. That sucks. That is not what I want. This will never make me happy. What a disaster. I feel like such a loser. So these are the first thoughts that come to mind. They actually make you even more aware of why you don't want to confront yourself with that. The reason why we hold on to that image so much that we have in our mind of how our life could be, maybe with that person or maybe with that situation, is because if we actually think about what is, it makes us depressed. It makes us scared. For the longest time, we didn't look into this because looking into this would get us out of any kind of amazing state whatsoever. Like, this is horrible. And all our life, we're trying to close ourselves off from looking at the things that we don't like. So once you experience this, like this grief, this horror of, okay, what if this was my life forever? You will also find freedom in that, because then you can confront all of those emotions that made you look away from what is. And they actually bring up everything that had to happen in the past in order for you to get to this point. Because if you have a life that doesn't reflect how you want it to be, then it's because subconsciously you always felt like, okay, I don't deserve better. So you have to confront all of those emotions, all the things that happened in the past, and you don't even have to be that specific. You don't have to know, oh, my dad said this to me when I was 5, and that's why this is happening. If you know this, great. But very often it's not even necessary. It's about feeling those emotions and staying above it, staying in control of your state while these things are coming up, so you allow them to flow through you and then you let them go. You have to feel them to heal them. So every single time you feel some kind of emotion in your body, and it's fear or anger or abandonment or whatever it is, think of it as an amazing point, because it allows you to bring all of your stuff up so you can heal it. And that's when we get to the next step. So in order to get to a place where you're naturally high, you're not just thinking that you're making progress, but you're actually doing progress, you have to change the narrative of your current situation. So in order to change how we feel about our current reality, first off, we have to accept it. So I read one quote like the other day that was like, in order to fulfill your dreams, you first have to wake up from them. So we looked at the current situation, we grieved it. Give yourself like a day. Like really imagine it's never ever going to get better than this. And allow this pain to come over you. And then start looking at it from a perspective of how great this actually is. Because there is no such thing as this is great or this isn't. It's always a matter of perspective, because most of us live in an industrialized country. If you are this way, then you're already living better than 90% of all people in the world. You have enough money to have internet, you probably have enough money to eat. You don't have to worry about if you get sick that nothing is going to be done in order to help you. You have clean water, you have a family, you have friends. So not everybody of us has everything, but we have so much. And on top of that, you have to also look at what you have been able to do. So it's not just about, okay, I got lucky I was born in this country, or I got lucky that I have clean water, but also to say, well, I do have a job who makes it possible for me to live the life I have right now. Because there are millions, if not billions of people who wish they were where you're at right now. If you feel like, oh, I'm barely making any money, look at all the people that are making less than you and that would love to be at your state. The difference of thought here is that if you're not willing to see what you already have as something amazing, you cannot create more of it. That's just how our mind works. This is the most important aspect. If you don't remember anything from this video, remember this. We can only improve what we already have. We can only increase what we already experience. So if you have a day and 95% of that day suck, if you want that day to be better, you cannot think about, I hate my job, I hate my friends, I hate my apartment. The thing that you have to do in order to get the better job, to get the better apartment, is to focus on those 5% of your day that are amazing. Maybe it's the fact that you can enjoy your coffee in the morning. Maybe it's the fact that you can take a bath. Maybe it's the fact that you love your best friend. Maybe it's the fact that you love your dog. It does not matter. We have to look at our situation from a perspective of gratitude and from a perspective of, this is amazing. And if you can look at your current life and hate it, then you can also look at your current life and love it. I mean, love it. As in, it actually makes you naturally high to think about what is going on. Remember, you're an INFJ. You're living in that emotional, intuitive state anyway. And if you combine this with your current reality, you can actually experience it as something fun and amazing. So if you ever get to a point where you feel like, I feel stuck, I don't feel happy, I don't feel like things are moving forward, it's important to get to a place like this. Because this state allows you to stay naturally high while you improve your life. So if you want to improve your day and 95% of it suck, you have to focus on those 5%. Because if you focus on those 5% become 10, 20, 40, and so on. And that's how you remove those 95% or you increase them. Similarly, if you want to be in a place where you improve your life, then you have to fall in love with what already is and get to a state how you enjoy this from a lean back position where you make a couple of moves, because you don't have to make all the moves, you just have to make the right moves. And you do that in a state where you're relaxed, you do that out of independence, and you're doing this out of peace. You know, Who cares if it works out? Who cares if my life gets better? I'm never going to experiencing anything better than right now. Remember, it's a matter of perspective. If you had $1 million more, if you had perfect relationship, if you had, the dream job, whatever it is, it still wouldn't make you happy unless you're able to interpret it as something amazing. So you already have everything right now which allows you to feel this way. So make that a point. Look at how much you dislike your current life. Stop looking away from it. Get to a point where you get to heal all of those emotions because you feel them. You feel everything that is lacking from your perspective. And then allow yourself to put a new story into your mind of how amazing your life is. And everything that comes in is just the icing on top of the cake. Nothing more than that. And then you start to add things to your life. You start to do them in a way where it's a game, and you get to allow yourself as an INFJ to be in the state of naturally high all the time while you're taking little steps. So you never have to go cold turkey, really hardcore into this dark warrior mode where you're nowhere near being in this amazing happy place, and at the same time you're making progress. From time to time it's necessary to take really big freaking leaps where you have to be in the trenches, where you have to be a warrior first before you start living in a happy place. But long term, we have to start loving where we're at. If you want my personal help with making this happen for you, then work with me privately or join the INFJ Epic Life Bootcamp. All the information you find below. And if you want to watch another video now that is in alignment with today's topic, then watch the video on INFJ Badass, how to turn your vision into reality. Like always, guys, I wish you a wonderful day, a great week, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.